watching the Apple Crafts podcast. I am a hand yarn dyer outside of Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Alicia, and I'm glad you're here. We do have some new faces here, so I just kind of want to let you know where you can find me. I am on Instagram for now, still, as Apple Crafts Fine Yarn. You can also find my Etsy shop as Apple Crafts Fine Yarn. And I do have a Facebook, but I think I'm probably going to dismantle that. Probably. I haven't posted on there in a long time, so I probably should stop bringing that one up. Yeah, so like I said, I'm outside of Nashville, and I've been dyeing yarn for, oh gosh, since the beginning of 2018. So what is that, 6 years? 7 years? No. Oh god. Yeah, 7 years. Yeah. Plus or minus. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with a little bit of shop news, and then we'll go into the whips that I am working on right now. So shop news is pretty much the same if you've been here for a while. All of my yarn sets are marked down indefinitely. So 2, 3, 4 skein collections that I put together, no codes, they're just $10 cheaper. So it comes out to roughly $20 a skein. If you see any colors in the shop that aren't in the collections that I put together, just message me on there and we can put something together for you. It'll be the same price as the 2, 3, or 4 skein set. I can also do a 5 skein set and just adjust the price for you there. All of my shipping is reduced. Even international, it's reduced. So just take a look and see what you would like. Also, in the announcements, I believe I have a code in there. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but if you spend $75 or more, you get free shipping. So just something to keep in mind. So for today's episode, I am doing whips. So what I've decided to do for this year is separate my 2025 list and my whips. So if they're not on my 2025 make list, then it goes in the beginning of the month. And if it's on my 2025 list, then it goes at the end of the month. So that's what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show my long-standing whips, because this will probably be the first and last time for a few months that I'm going to show this particular one. And it is the Marled Mania Leggings by Stephen West. And this one is super back burner because I'm doing my leggings as a gradient. If you've seen me talk about this before, I'm starting off with really dark colors, and then I want to end them with the light colors. So I'm waiting for another black fingering weight to come through my hands so that I can do that. So this is the top, so it's top down, and I've kind of have like black, blues, and purples going on here. You can see that I've moved to like a lighter purple here, but I still have some blues, so I'm waiting for like either another really, really dark purple, which I'm pretty sure I don't have, or another black, just to kind of keep with the scheme going on. And then once I get like, I don't know, another inch or so, then I'll move to dark purples and dark reds, just to keep that gradient going. I believe I have a progress keeper, so I can show you the last time I worked on this from the last time I talked about it. So that's how much I got done. This is about an inch and a half, something like that. And now it's just sitting waiting for more yarn. I have in this box, let's see if I can show it. I have in this box all of my colors that I'm going to be throwing in here. So as you can see, I've got like that blue that's in there right now, and then I have like these darker reds and stuff, but they're still too light to put into the leggings. So they're just kind of sitting there waiting their turn. But yes, I am holding the yarn triple. So it's 3 fingering weights that I'm holding together to make this fabric. I'm using a US 9. I believe the original might be a bunch of worsted. Might be worsted or DK. It has to be a worsted, because why would I be holding three fingering weights together unless it's a worsted? So yeah, that's what I'm doing, just to kind of use up my scraps. Because what I do with scrappy projects, like true scrappy projects, is I have the full skein of yarn, right? And then whatever's left over of that, I use for socks. And then whatever is done with that, I can't do anything with that, then I put it into a scrappy project if I'm not making scrappy socks, which lately I haven't been doing. So that's what the thing is. So like all of my stuff that's truly scrappy really is waiting and waiting and waiting, because if I can find something else to put it in, either whether it be color work or socks or something, it's just going to sit there and wait. Or if I just really don't want to touch it anymore, then I'll put it into a scrappy. So that's what all those piles are. That pile of yarn. Yeah, so I am going to go to my next long-standing whip, and that is the Memory Blanket by Georgie Nicolson. And what I'm doing with this blanket is I'm not making it all in one go. I'm making it modular, so I'm doing blocks of 4, and I'm very much randomizing which way the miter square goes. For instance, and I'll show you some older squares first. Would this be a good example? This is not a good example. This is the first one I did, so all the miter sections are in the same direction. That's how the blanket's supposed to go. They're all supposed to go in the same direction. And then you just keep building from this. So this is my original square, I believe. And then I decided, at this point when I was making this, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this modular, otherwise I'm going to hate this blanket, and I'm going to make the spines go any which way. So then I went to, at this point I don't know what order it is, but this would be a good example, the spines going any which way. So this kind of created an X. And then you might hear my cats in the background. I don't know what they're doing. As long as they're not fighting, I don't care. Here's another one. It's going in different directions. So the way I do that is I just make a square, and then I decide from there which way I want to pick it up. So I'm either going to cast on the stitches and then pick up, or I'm going to pick up and then cast on the stitches, and that changes what direction the spines go in. And that's really all you're doing, you know. And then you can, you know, decide which direction you want to go in, either this way or this way from the original square. Modifications that I did to this, I believe the original pattern is fingering weight and 40 stitches, so I changed it to DK weight to make it bigger, and I added 10 stitches, so I've got 60 stitches and it's DK weight. And I started this blanket, this is so back burner, I started this blanket September 12th of 2021. That's how long I've done this. And again, it's the same thing that I'm doing with that Marled Mania, where it's just waiting for those last bit of scraps. And this is the last of the old squares that have been sitting around. 3 are going in one direction and 1's going in a different direction. And most of this yarn is my hand dyed, not all of it. Like this I know is Brooklyn Tweed. That's mine. This is Rum Raisin. This is Ichiban. That's mine. This one here is Golden Pearls. Flirting is part of my heritage. This is, I think, Potpourri. That's mine. This is Ichiban. That's mine. This pink here is Barocco Vintage. This blue here is mine. This is Under the Sea. This brown is mine. It's Forest Floor. Here's some more Flirting is part of my heritage. Interesting that I only did one color there. This green is Brooklyn Tweed. I don't remember the colors for the Brooklyn Tweed. This green, I know it's mine. I think it's Under the Sea. This blue is a really old color that I don't do anymore. It's Mystic Zen. This is another one that I don't do anymore. Strawberry smoothie, that's mine. So most of these are mine. But what I decided to do to hasten this process is a few years back I did scrappy sample packs where there's 20 grams of fingering weight in a 12 pack and 20 grams each, not all, not all together, 20 grams each of DK weight and a fingering weight of 12, all caked up and ready to go. That didn't sell. So then what I decided to do was, because I think I'm going to use most of that for giveaways. So what I want to do is anything that I had doubles of or triples of, I was going to keep for myself to put in this blanket. So just to hasten this project, because otherwise it's going to be 10 years from now and I'm still going to be working on this, and I just don't want to do that. So what I decided to do is take all those things that I had double and triple of the DK weight and just start making like solid blocks. And then this is using 14 grams each, I think it is, each square, 12 or 14 grams. And then the rest of it is going into scraps to make these squares. So that way I'll have some quadrants that are solids colors and then the other ones will be scrappy. And what I think I'm also going to do, possibly, is if I have, some things like this, after I'm done doing a few blocks where they're all solid, have them more like there's 3 that are scrappy and 1 that's solid, or like 3 that are the other way around, solid and then 1 that's scrappy. Just kind of change it up a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to join these together yet. I don't know if I want to just mattress stitch them all together or if I want to put a border around everything and then mattress stitch it together. I'm still playing with that idea. I have a long way to go yet. It'll probably be another year or 2 before I even get to that point, because even though this is hastening this project, it's still going to be slow. So, but that's what I'm doing to try to pick up the pace a little bit, if you will, because if it wasn't for these, I still have those original 4 that I was showing you and waiting for stuff. So and I have a basket over here full of more colors. So I've got, this is Ichiban, Grassy Meadow, Blue Galaxy, I think this was Catherine Sarah. A lot of these are old colors that I don't even have in the shop anymore, so I'm like, let me just use them, Potpourri. I don't remember what this one is. And then this one I know is, oh God, who is this? Her name is Rochelle, but I can't think of her business name. I don't even know if she dyes yarn anymore. Anyway, that's in there. Have some more Brooklyn tweed. So yeah, won't get me very far, but it'll push me along further. I'm using a US 6 circulars to knit those. I think that's it. So yeah, so I will probably update on the memory blanket for at least the next few months. The leggings is no point unless I actually add to it, so I won't be talking about that anymore for a while. And those are my long-standing whips, like my super, super long-standing whips. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit and I will be right back. Okay, another whip that I have that I've been working on for a few months now is my Campside Cardi, modified because I'm not doing the eyelets on the back. I'm just using the bones of the pattern, if you will. I am not done with the arm yet, but I have started an arm. So why am I so tangled? There we go. So I am 3/4 of the way on an arm, almost. Let's see, there's going to be a pickup on here, so actually this probably goes down to here. So I still have to pick up for, I guess it's a shawl collar. I don't know what it's called, but that's another couple of inches. So yeah, about 3/4 of the way on this arm. So these markers here, this is, I don't count by decreases because my tension's going to be a little bit different per arm, and this is just something that's consistent with me. So what I do is I put a marker, and that's a stitch marker here. This is where I started the arm, which is going to be obvious on the other place too. So it's going to be the same spot. This kind of helps for measuring when I'm doing the whole arm. So here is where I start the first decrease, which is about 1 inch in here, because these armholes are a little bit bigger than what I normally do because it's a cardigan, so they're going to be looser on my arms. So I went in about 1 inch, started the first decrease. This here is, I'm decreasing every 8th row, so I do 7 full rows and then do the 8th row, and that's where I decrease. So I did all that there. Then I changed the rate of decrease here, so that's where this marker is. So now I knit 5 full rows, and every 6th row is where I'm decreasing. So that's where I'm at right now. And I am knitting the arms on a US 6 circular. This yarn is merino and donegal tweed. I dyed this up, so it's just black with an overtone of a lilac blue, which you're not going to be able to see, which was kind of the point. I wanted to make it where you could see it in the sun, but not really anywhere else, so it just looks black. But then if you're in the sun, it looks something a little bit different. So that's what's going on there. I have not finished the pockets yet. I still have a hole there. I think what I want to do, and I've never done that with pockets before, is make a flap right here. So I'm going to pick up on this top part and then kind of knit a flap that goes over where the pocket is. And then when I pick this up on the inside is when I'll start knitting the pocket. And I may join it up here. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out later. I'm not all that worried about it. I'm leaving the pockets till last because if I run out of yarn, I don't care if the pockets are a different color. I actually did that in my All of the Lights cardigan by Hopi Locatelli. So I'm gonna leave that till last because I really want all the yarn everywhere else. So yeah, so I'm almost done with this, and then I'll do the other arm. So hopefully next time you see this, I will at least have both arms and be picking up for the front here. I will probably not do buttons because I learned from my first cardigan that I did, which was the Dexter by Isabel Kramer, that I'm just gonna wear it as a sweater if I have buttons. So I don't think I'm gonna do buttons. So I'll just leave it where it's open. But I do realize that even if I don't have a garment with pockets, I want pockets. My hands just automatically go there. So I'm like, I gotta have pockets. So that's what I'm doing there. What size did I don't know what size I knit. I'm not very good at that part with the information, sorry. It will be on my project page though. So if you're that interested, you can see it on my project page. I do try to keep notes and that information as far as my gauge and needles and sizes and that stuff. I'm pretty good about that. So you can check that out there. I try to keep it where there's at least 4 to 5 inches of ease. So, and that's all I have to say about that. So then a current whip that I started within the last month. When I was in Connecticut back in October, I visited Skein Yarn Shop in Rhode Island, and I picked up, let me save my spot here because I don't want to lose it. Okay. I picked up this book, 52 Weeks of Socks, and flipped through the last month, and I found a few pairs of socks that I want to do, and I stuck them in my queue, I think. Where are you? There we go. Hexi diamond. I was trying to find something that would use up one color of yarn, as I had all these scraps, and that pattern is by Nancy Wheeler, by the way. I had to dismantle a shirt, or yeah, a top that I knitted or started to knit 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just sitting in my stash. Like I had to like just sit there and spend like an hour or two just frogging it just to get the yarn. So that's what I did, and then I had enough there. I'm like, okay, I definitely have enough to get a pair of socks. So let me find something that's not vanilla, that I could do for socks. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't really done texture. I've done cables, I've done color work. Let's do something with some texture in it. So I chose those. So I'll show you one more time. And they're called the Hexi Diamond socks. So that's what I'm working on right now. And this colorway is from the Golden Pearls, and it's called Flirting is a Part of My Heritage. I think that was a one-off because I have not seen it in their shop since. And that was, when did I buy that yarn? 6 years ago almost, 5 or 6 years ago. So this is how far I've gotten so far. I am about an 1.5 to 2 inches away from the heel. I did some reinforcement under the ball of the foot. I really like the way that feels. I don't know how it's going to hold up yet, but it does feel nice and squishy. So I'm probably going to keep that for most of my socks from now on. But yeah, that's as far as I've gotten. And these 2 balls are almost done. So then I'm going to have to add more, but I have more at my desk. So I definitely have enough yarn for that. And I'm probably going to reinforce the heel too. I will do a short row heel. And then the pattern picks up around the leg. The pattern is cuffed down, so I just reversed it. I mean, the chart is the same regardless of whether you do it upside down or right side up, or cuffed down or toe up. So that's one thing that I look for when I do anything really, is can I reverse it, because I'm not going to do cuff down. I'm not team cuff down. I probably will never be team cuff down. I probably won't even try doing cuff down. So no shade, it's just not my thing. So yeah, and I'm knitting these on a US 2. I have contemplated whether or not I should move down to I don't even know what the next size down would be. Is this say 1.5? I have contemplated whether I want to go down to 1.5. I have such tight tension that I don't want to snap my needles though. So do any of you have tight tension? Do you find that 1.5s are just too picky? Like, I'm a little scared to go lower than a 2. I've always had tight tension. Crochet, knitting, whatever. It does help with consistency for me though. So I just adjust my needles, which is why I work with a 2, because I'm so tight. But anyway, and I have one finish. So I was talking about this, I think, in the last month or so ago, making some fingered gloves. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that in my stories. But this yarn is a rust color. I don't think it actually has a name on here. No. But it's Art Yarns Merino Cloud. And it's merino and cashmere. And I made, this is the second pair of fingered gloves that I've ever made. So it's still a little rough. What I did was, no pattern, I just kind of did it myself. But what I did do was I pulled a pattern from some mittens that I made a long time ago, just to get numbers to start the cuff and to get started here, and then everything else is just me. So this is, like I said, this is my second pair. They do look rough, but they get the job done. So what have I learned by this is that the pattern that I'm using to get my numbers, it's meant for color work. So I think what I need to do next time, let me get closer. What I need to do for next time is, keep this the same, but like when I pick up over here after the thumb hole, after putting those stitches on hold, is to do less, because it's a little bit bulky up here and I don't like that. And then I had to do a whole lot of decreasing that you can see here, and it looks messy, just to get the fingers done. So I think what I need to do is keep these numbers the same because I like the way it feels here. And then when I pick up for the thumb, to go back into the round, I need to do like 5 or 6 stitches less, because I've had to decrease around the thumb too, and you know, it's kind of wonky. Like the stitches are going this way, and then I have all these decreases here, because like what you're doing is when you do your fingers, my numbers are, except for the pinky, it's 20 stitches, right, all around. Well, you're having to add stitches in between the fingers, right? At least for me, 4 stitches in between the fingers. So that goes into your count as well. So if you've got, you know, you're picking up 10 in the front and 10 in the back and then doing 4, well, now you got to decrease 4 to get 20 stitches for the rest of the finger, right? So I figure I'd have to at least do 4, 8, 12, 16, something like that for all the way around. But I don't want it to be too tight either, so I'm just going to have to play around with it, I think. But I know for a fact I'm going to have to do less stitches because it's a lot of, you can see that, like you see a lot of bulk. I don't like that. So yeah, I think the next pair of gloves that I do, I'm going to do at least 6 stitches less. I know I'm still going to have to decrease up here, but that'll be less decreasing that I have to do, right? Because here's the other side. So you can see that it looks messy. So, and I haven't blocked these, you know, and I'm probably not going to block them, just to be honest. So whenever they get their first wash is when they'll be blocked. But yeah, it's like, so I think what I need to do is just do that, do 6 stitches less, and then see how that looks when I do the fingers, and then figure out the math from there for like my 4th pair of gloves. It's kind of like socks, where like, you know, the first couple times you knit socks, you're getting the feel for the pattern, getting the feel for how you want things, you're trying to figure out your stitch count, what you like more. Do you like 64 stitches? Do you like 70 something stitches? Do you like 60 stitches? You know, all that. And you got to just do the thing until you get the feel for what's going to be good for you. And it's going to be the same thing for this. And honestly, it's not that hard. You know, like, it looks intimidating to do fingered gloves, but really it's not, because you're just kind of, it's kind of like if you've ever knit fingerless gloves, right? So you're doing the same thing where you got the thumb, right, for your fingered glove, for your fingerless gloves, because there's always going to be a thumb, almost always, unless you want to just leave the hole. But usually there's a thumb, right? So we know how to do that. So then you just knit all the way up to here, and then you're just picking up, you have to use DPNs. But you're probably using DPNs for your thumb anyway, right? So then you just kind of start either on this end or this end, whatever, but you're putting them all on hold, on waste yarn. And then you're just picking up however many stitches, right, for one side, and then you use a DPN for the other side, and then you use a DPN for in here. So what you can do is kind of rearrange your stitches so that you've got some of the stitches from this side for your in-between, and some of the stitches for this side for your in-between, so you have like an even count for all 3 DPNs. And then you just knit, 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 right? And then when you get to wherever you want to be done, you do 1 row, and this was my mistake. You do 1 row where you just do knit 2 together for all of the stitches, and then you just take the yarn, loop it through like you would if you're doing the top of a hat, loop it through all the stitches, and then close it up, put it in between, and then just kind of weave your yarn in. So, like I said, it takes some practice, obviously. I don't know where my first pair of gloves are. I think they're upstairs, so I will not be showing those. They did the job. I used them for work when I worked in the bakery, and I had to go in the freezer and move boxes around, so they were good for that. But yeah, so this is actually a thinner yarn than that other one. So I have enough yarn left over, actually, to do another pair of this color if I wanted to. Yeah, I think I only used 1 skein of yarn, didn't I? Yeah. So this is enough to do another pair. So what was this original was 100 grams, so you can get at least 2 pairs of gloves out of 100 gram skein of yarn if you wanted to do that. So yeah, plenty of yarn left over. So that's my finish. And that's all I have for the knitting. I do have a yarn purchase, so if you want to stick around for that. If not, then maybe I can put a timestamp or let you know when I'm done talking about the yarn stuff. If you want to hear life stuff or whatever. But I recently went to Lexington, Kentucky. Actually, last weekend I went to Lexington, Kentucky. And while there are at least 3 or 4 yarn shops I could have gone to, I only had time to go to one. So I went to, I don't even know how to say this. I'm guessing it's Rebel Yarns. And I am really at a point where I don't need to buy yarn. Like, I really, really don't need to buy yarn. But I still want to support a shop, you know? So here's a sticker that they threw in the bag. That's cute. So what I did, usually my rule when I go to a yarn shop is to buy yarn that I'm not going to dye. And what was the other thing? It's definitely buy yarn that I'm not going to dye up, right? But I had to change my rules because usually I buy more than a couple of skeins of yarn. And like I said, I don't need to buy yarn right now, but I still want to support. Oh yeah, the other rule was it has to be a color that I don't do. It has to be a color I don't do and a color I'm not going to dye up. I kind of broke that rule, but I'll tell you why. So my rule this time for the yarn shops, and it will be going forward for at least the rest of the year if I go to any yarn shops, is to get yarn specifically to either do socks with or like full-on vanilla same color socks, or something to do finger gloves with, because like I'm looking for a couple of colors just to kind of fill the gap for my wardrobe. Well, I got this. I whole ass have this color in my shop, but I don't want to use the colors that I have in my shop right now, like steal from myself, and I don't want to dye up any yarn right now to make finger gloves. So this is going to be my next set of finger gloves whenever I get around to that. And so I just got 2 skeins of this. It's coming out hyper pink. It's a little bit more muted than that. Actually, it's super similar to my pink tourmaline. Like, it's basically the same color. So like I said, I broke my own rule. But I still want to support the yarn shop. See, the thing is that like this yarn shop is super cute. I'll put up pictures. It's super cute. It's in what used to be a house. I'm assuming it used to be a house way back in the day. And they had a crap ton of Malabrigo. Well, I love Malabrigo, but I can get it anywhere, you know. But if you're in that area and you need some Malabrigo, that's the place to go, like for real, because it's a cute shop. It's next to like the downtown area. It's like a couple minutes from the downtown area, if not in the downtown area. And yeah, they just have tons of Malabrigo. Or they had like they have a good selection of Cascade 220, but it was like thick. I've never used Cascade. I'm guessing it was DK or worsted. They just didn't have anything else that I was really looking for. But like I said, I wanted to support them, so that's why I broke my rules and got a color that I could do. But this is Emma's yarn, and it's a 50-gram skein, 200 yards, and the colorway is called Ladies and Gentlemen, and they're $15 a piece. But yeah, so I got 2 because then I can do 1 glove for each skein, and not have to like separate them out. And then I'll have a little bit left over I can use for color workers scraps or whatever. So I try to keep it simple. It's something I had a project for, not add too much to my shelving, which now that I've shown you this, I can throw that right there. So yeah, go check them out. It's a cute little space. We got there just in time. I think we had 30 minutes to shop. I don't like being that person, but it just kind of worked out that way. But, you know, gracious nonetheless, and let me look around and take my time. So, a lot of cute notions and stuff. There's a lot of trinkles, I think, in there. But, yeah. So, I think I am done babbling. Let me look around. Yes, I have not forgotten anything this time, because usually I forget something. So nothing I've forgotten this time. Uh, Not really anything on the life front. Um, yeah, it's been good so far. So, um, getting my paperwork together to renew my passport. Wish me luck. It's not expired. I have like 13 months on it, but I want to get ahead of it because you know, do I need to say more? So because, uh, but I will tell you, if you are in a position where you have somebody in your family that needs to get a first time passport, you definitely want to get on that now because a week ago I went to take my stepson over to get passport photos and renew mine. And I was like, okay, well, the last time I did this was a couple years ago. Yeah, I know times have changed. It was a couple years ago, and I had to get my son his first one, and we could just walk into the county clerk. Fine, whatever. All right. So I'm here in my head, not thinking about the political climate. Right. I'm like, all right, I could just bring him in there and get his paperwork done. Boom, boom, we're done. Right. Oh no. Oh no. It is by appointment right now, and his first appointment, like the first thing I could get in, period, was May 1st. May 1st. So you know anybody who needs to like get their first time one, you want to do it now because May 1st in my area, like I said, I'm outside of Nashville. Might be a little bit different in your area, but here is May 1st for my spot. So if you are looking to renew, you could do it online if you can get a photo where the background and everything else is good, or you could do it by mail. So but the reason why I'm doing mine now, because I don't want to wait until May because mine expires, well, doesn't expire. I'm within that 12-month window in May. I don't want to wait that long. But if you could only do it online if you're within your 12-month window. If you want to do it before that, then you got to do it by mail. So that's why I'm doing it now. Probably TMI, but you know, just in case it's relevant for you, because it might be, you know, who am I to judge? But you know, so just a little FYI for you. But that's what I got going on the life front. So I got to finish that paperwork today and get all that stuff together so I can go to the post office this week and send it out priority mail. Pretty sure it's priority mail. So all right, so I will see you in 2 weeks with my 2025 list. I am really trying every month to have something that I work on that list. Something, no matter what it is. A big thing and a small thing, something, you know. That way I can not keep skipping stuff, and I want to try to get through that as much of that list as possible. So, all right, so I will see you in a couple weeks, and take care. I hope you're doing all right. Hang in there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.